Hey everybody, how are we doing this evening? We've got a fun show tonight. We've got a big Hakes preview for you. I think we've probably got more artwork to look at this time around with Hakes than maybe ever before. But a reminder, we've got a couple things coming up. We got the Comic Art Live show this weekend, so lots of prep work going on for that. As you might imagine, the panel list got posted today. We still got about 3 or 4 other panels to show for that too, so keep your eyes open on that. Some big names are going to get announced as well. As big as some of the names were already in that list, we've got some bigger ones to announce as well, so that's going to be fun. And what else we got? Don't forget the mystery sketch stuff. That's going to close on Friday, probably around noon. So anybody on the fence with that, please, go ahead and support CAF and your friendly artists out there, because I think we've got over 100 sales so far, but we can always use a few more. So without further ado, let me bring in the crew from Hakes. We've got Alex and Todd and Kelly and Sean Rutan, spelling it out for everybody so we don't mispronounce it. How are we all doing this evening?
Good,
man. How are you?
I'm good. I couldn't be better, actually. Pretty. We've got so many things going on here. I don't have time to feel miserable about the schedule, but it's been every time we come around to Comic Art Live, it's kind of fun, because it seems like every show we do, we get a lot more participation from artists and groups that want to do panels and ask that are asking about exhibiting at that. So that's always a good thing. And of course, we've got you guys coming to OAX at the end of January. I appreciate that. It's
everybody on screen that will be there.
There you go. So see, this is why screen time is good. You're good, but you're going to get to meet everybody in the chat who you've had the pleasure of seeing in there. Well, not like, I can't promise everybody. Marcus is not committed to going to the show yet, but guys like Jeff Wedding will be there. Jason Ladwig, Kyle. Several people from the chat will be there as well. I don't know if Dino's going to make it. I haven't talked to Dino in a while, but I hope Dino, if you can't make it, I hope you'll be there in spirit one way or another, my friend. But yeah, so and I have to thank you guys too, because obviously you're setting up, but you're also a sponsor of the show. We appreciate that. It's very flattering to have everybody, especially Hakes, be so supportive of what we're working on with OAX, because I think that just from the planning and some of the things we've got going on there, I really do feel like this is going to be, if you could say there's an industry around comic book artwork, this is going to become the industry's event of the year for certain. But as far as the people who are participating, the artists who have signed on, I think some of the things we'll be announcing over the next 2 to 3 weeks are going to, even floor you guys with some of the cool things that are going to happen at the show that just don't happen at other art cons or international festivals or anything like that. And it's going to be very, very unique. I think everybody's going to be thrilled.
We're excited. We're happy to be a part of it, and the cost is all coming out of Todd's check, so it's really not a big deal.
no problem.
When he heard it was in Florida, he just said, "Just whatever, Bill me. It was fine."
It's all
on
me.
his tab.
Funny. And Mikhail said, I spy an OAX logo behind Todd, and that's funny. I see it now as well. I was too busy fixated on the cat clock earlier, and I didn't see the OAX logo. Oh man. Casper thanks you as well. But so I got a lot to look at tonight as far as the auction goes. I mean, you're the non-comic art, the more historical lots start ending a week from now, and that's on Tuesday evening. But the comic art lots begin ending on Wednesday, right about now, right? Is that that true? Right around 9 o'clock in the evening.
Start the 20-minute clock at 9 Eastern. Yep.
So how did it come about that because I think we've got about 50 lots to look at tonight. This is, I think, more than we've ever had before. So just an embarrassment of riches. Just you got lucky this time, or was it just a confluence of just a lot of consigners all at once?
I personally, wondered a month out from when this would go to the printer, what we're going to do for art. We had a handful of pieces, and then all of a sudden this batch came in and Kelly got a batch. And so it kind of snowballed into what it is now, which is not the most amount of art we've ever offered at one time, but I think one of the most diverse and interesting selections of art that we've had in many years, if not ever.
Well, I think it's pretty impressive. Sean, you're the comic art guy. Is there anything in here that caught your eye that was a surprise?
So I got to be careful how I verbalize this because they only got to hear about how he scored it all. But all the DC stuff is great, like all the covers and everything. I cannot take any credit for the DC covers that are in there, but they're all like you said, very diverse, good selection from a lot of different artists, and the era kind of, it's kind of a grab bag of DC, which is great. And obviously, I'm all about the color guys, as you know, which we have a good selection there too. But the DC stuff's pretty special.
Yeah, you've had some really great cover guides the last several auctions, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know you love them, Sean, but just drawing attention to those, I think, is pretty awesome. I mean, you don't get to see that kind of quality color guides too often, but we're going to see another, several in the lots that we're going to look at tonight.
Well, I just want to give quick credit to both Todd and Mike Bollinger because they do all of the art descriptions. So, and there's a lot of research that goes into it. In fact, much more than normal in some of these pieces. Todd did fantastic research to get the information that we were able to then put in the descriptions and sort of tell the story on a number of pieces that most people would probably not know about, right?
I thank you and apologize to you, Todd.
Yeah,
I got through everything, so we're good.
Yeah, a lot of things go to Todd, and we know we can give it, start to finish, and it gets done just as it should. And especially near the very end of the deadline, and that was not fair. But you can't always tell when it's going to come in.
Well, this catalog was tough. I did the big heavy portion lifting for this one, so getting the catalog together and the description's done. But we always pull through and do what we have to do to represent it.
And also, anyone who appreciates how the catalog looks, Todd lays out the entire catalog.
Pretty much
every page is laid out by him.
Let's not cross over Maddie, our new graphic designer.
I'm sorry, Maddie.
He did do a little bit of the layout, but yeah, Todd did most of it because we lost our catalog manager right before we started this whole process, and he was with us for 16 years. So it was a trial by fire to get this, to have Todd do as much as he did, and to have Maddie come in and do, and it on the not only that, but on the shortest schedule of the year for the 3 catalog auctions. So yeah, the fact that it all came together the way it did is a testament to the team. I was going to say myself, but I'll say the team here at Hake.
In its own way, it sounds the same to me. So
good. See, I am Negan. You're learning.
So why don't we dive into the lots then? I mean, I think, I've got it in the order that you sent it to me too, right, Alex. So, and that was a couple of weeks ago. So let's see what. So I've got this window shared here. So we're going to take a look at the Action Comics cover from issue 588, John Byrne artwork with Hawkman too. I mean, that's not too bad.
Yeah. So I sort of, the list you have, we start with DC, we do covers, we get into pages, then Marvel, then independent. So I tried to keep a themes going, but it's heavy on DC just because the auction is heavy on DC and pieces that needed mentioned. And this is certainly, to me, the leadoff cover that we have this time.
I agree. I think it's the best of the bunch. It's fantastic. Byrne Superman, like you said, you got the bonus Hawk Girl, Hawkman, love it.
And this was, Kelly can speak on this, but this was the hit or one of the hits of New York Comic Con for our booth.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was actually curious if anyone watching was actually at New York Comic Con and saw it. If they were, please comment. I'm curious to see if that crossover makes it to the show. If not, it's fine. But we had it on display there. It had incredible attention. Some people who like to say that will be mine. We'll see, but that's what we like to hear. It's a great, it's a great, dynamic, powerful cover. I agree with everything that Sean and Alex have said about it. So it's just and Byrne speaks for himself. So yeah, great cover.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's John Byrne DC art is finally kind of catching on and taking off in value in the last year or two. So especially the Superman art. I mean, that's really what I think most people are looking for. So yeah, this is a great cover, and I like the heavy inks on the feathers there. I mean, that's not normally how you would see it done, but it works pretty well in this case.
Yeah, little detail like the way his mask sits on his face is perfect. I love little details like that, like you mentioned with the feathering and the solar flares in the background. It's just a cool background. Everything about it's overall it's a neat piece.
Mm-hmm.
You said white space, all of it.
Those cooks a lot of boxes with Byrne and late '80s art. I mean, it just it's dynamic cover, it's action, so it's got a lot of things going for it.
Definitely, it's just under 10,000 right now, so it's got room to go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here, and now we've got this thing over here. So we've got one more. This is and which cover is this? This is the cover to Action Comics 568. Yeah, wow. Let's see, go over here.
It's spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, you wouldn't get this on a Marvel cover back then, but DC, the romance just it kind of swelled over into all the heroes over there one time or another.
And this is Superman with the ever popular Nova woman. That's one of Sean's favorites. But then it's also interesting that Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen are also then in the other hearts on dates, and Lois is on a date with who is not Clark Kent.
See, there was always some intrigue going on over at DC all the time. Yeah. So no, this is good. Now the artist Bender with Ordway inks on this one. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Now let's see where we at. So this one's just getting started. First bid, and yeah. No tongue, no Josh.
Yeah, these comments are wonderful. I figured this one would have some.
You're gonna get to meet Josh when you're at OAX too.
Nice.
So yeah, Josh might do a stand-up routine. He can do it. He is a certified card-carrying stand-up comedian. So
right on.
Yeah,
right on.
Yeah. He might warm up the crowd at the reception or maybe at the auction. You just never know.
And he might be able to do the dueling comedians of comic art with him and Marcus.
Nice.
That is true. I don't know if Marcus would take up a mic, but yeah, they could probably battle a little bit. Josh says he hardly knew her. Yep, we understand. But nice Howard Bender and Jerry Ordway Action Comics cover there, a little earlier than the last one by Byrne. And then we've got another Action Comics cover, 658, this one by Kerry Gamble. Let's get over to there. Once again, lots of good detail on this one. You got Bob McLeod inks as well. Always solid.
Yeah, I love Gamble. He's on the Mount Rushmore of underappreciated artists for me.
Super detailed UFO, and then again another popular character, Sinbad, not the comedian, but there he is taking center stage over Superman on this cover.
Yeah, not too bad at all. Superman in Action Comics is 658. Now, I was like Gamble's work too, and Bob McLeod. I mean, to me, he made everybody look better when he inked them, and he was a great penciler too.
We have such tight inks.
Yeah. Even to this day, Bob's like one of my favorite people to get a convention sketch from because he's just solid. I mean, he's just skilled, and I don't think I've ever seen anything bad come off of his pen. So Nice piece here. And what do we got? It's no bids yet, but you know that there will be some on there before this is over.
Yeah, that won't last.
Then we've got another DC cover. This one with Best of DC by Ross Andrew. That's even the dog's happy to see him.
Yeah, well, this is cool because the kids are looking at the poster of Superman, and then one of them turns around to discover that he's standing right behind them. So
8 sensational stories. Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, this is a little different too, being a digest cover. That's its own little collectible niche for comics, the digest size, and to have full size art, but it was a digest. That's kind of neat.
yeah, because the same size as the other cover art.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is not bad. I love Andrew's work. And you get Giacoya as well on that one. Then Aquaman. Now Aquaman has a bad rap around here just because it's Aquaman, but this isn't too bad.
It is.
He gets a leg up here, though.
Yeah.
Kurt Swan.
Kurt Swan definitely raises the bar.
Oh, heck yeah. Now this is one of the better Aquaman covers I think we've seen from this era that we've shown on the show, whether we're picking art on CAF or doing auction previews. Yeah, this is great. And this was from what do we got here? This was Aquaman issue 2 cover, volume 3.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's fun seeing Swan on something other than Superman.
Yeah, for sure. And I know he did at least one other Aquaman cover, but Swan on Aquaman is rarely seen, and certainly on cover art.
Yes, we had a very interesting piece of Aquaman art that I ended up buying on the show not too long ago. I'll tell you about it later in the green room. And that's a joke for the guys in the audience. So let's see here. What do we got next? Jerry Bingham, Detective Comics cover, issue 585. And Bingham's work, it's always very distinctive. I mean, you can tell his stuff. Yeah, I love his work. Love his this was just kind of a creepy piece at the end of the day. Nobody likes rats. And then you get them all over Batman here.
And this is already over estimate, but correct me if I'm wrong, Todd. We couldn't find too many comps, and so
his art like this is not out there. I recognize this cover right away, just sort of being a classic Batman fan. But it's early it's first Ratcatcher, so it's a new character introduction, but no villain on the cover, just the rats. So it just gives you a nice impression. It's sort of not necessarily like a hero cover. It's almost like a horror cover. So I just think it looks great. You get a full Batman figure.
I had it as my sleeper, but the secret's out. Like I already lost that gamble. It's very.
There's another talked about favorite at New York Comic Con. People like this cover. Yeah.
That's cool. So do you put together a list of sleepers all the time, Sean?
Just mentally. I don't share with people. I don't like to be wrong publicly.
Yeah, I know how that goes. I've made a few claims on stuff in the past too that don't come true. So it's usually better to keep your sleeper list to yourself.
That's right.
But yeah, so I didn't even look and see where this was at. So 5,500, you had it. Also, there you go. It's already over the estimated price. So that's good. But that just tells you, usually you just never can tell. The fans out there for a particular issue, and it may be for what was in the book versus what's on the cover, but that makes the cover more valuable to them. And hey, nothing wrong with that at all.
10 bids in what's essentially still the tracking period of the auction. So
right.
Yeah, as many bids as you see on some of these pieces, the real action happens starting Monday and then certainly the closing days. So while things could seem like they're off and running, they can go way beyond that during the final hours, minutes. But there are plenty of people who like to sort of bid early as well. So we don't discriminate.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's awesome. Now this piece I like. This is Mike Rell pencil only Warlord cover. Let's see.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, and nothing like tight pencils from Mike Rell.
Pure pencil by the creator of the character. Can't beat it.
And you get a babe too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Grell's a good guy to talk to. I've never had him on the show before, but I've talked to him numerous times at cons. He's got a lot of stories. It is a great Grell, Jason.
It's weird to me. Those guys are getting to be the elder statesmen of all of comics.
Well, they've been around a while. I remember picking up the first couple issues of Grell, even though it was a DC book, I just was like, the art was too good not to at least check it out and figure out what the heck was going on in there. But all because of Grell. Let's see here. Next up, we got, and we'll get that on to there. So we got Joe Kubert, GI Combat page. And, I keep wanting to get a Kubert Hawkman page, but the war pages are really just as good. If you're going for something that's stylistic and true to, I think, what most people think about when they think about Kubert's work, I may end up having to settle for a war page because the Hawkman stuff is getting out of hand. Brave and the Bold. But this is a really nice page.
But this is not just any war page. And I'll let Todd talk about this because this was his discovery.
Yeah, this is a pretty special find. We have Jack Keller's Kid Colt archives, and in that was this page. So I started digging, and there's nothing on it as far as what it was for, but I did a little bit of creative searching and figured it out. And this is literally the prototype issue for Sergeant Rock. He was just called The Rock. And all through the story, that come on and fight is used. It starts out with him as a boxer in the ring before he was in the military. And then they kind of repeat it as he gets into battle and does this one-on-one with the tank and come on and fights in there twice. Like I said, he's just called The Rock. So this was before Sergeant Rock, and it's pretty exciting. This is an unknown page. This has been in a collection just lost all these years, and here it is available. And if you like Kubert and just the significance of it's really pre-Sergeant Rock, this is a great page to have.
If I'm not mistaken, Todd, the only other page you mentioned in your write-up is the only other page you found for this book.
we only saw one other page, and that one was an all boxing page that features him in a fight, coming up with the come on and fight kind of credo in the background on the character, like he just never gives up. Right. And then we got this nice battle page, which is great.
And that other page sold for $14,000, but just recently in last month or so. So when we first got this in and we were trying to find comps for an estimate, there were none. And then I'm not even sure how, but one of us discovered this other page at auction, and we tracked that. And then when that ended, that's how we came up with our estimate. But yes, while that page was nice, that's from this same issue, it was an all boxing page, and this is an all war page.
Yeah, this is.
Did it reference the fact that it was prototype for his arguably most famous character?
Yeah.
The other auction? Yeah, so that's wow. That's significant history.
Yeah. It's a serious page.
So strong estimate, but it's going to get some bids. You know that.
Yeah. Yeah, well.
Well, that's funny. So it was just sandwiched in with some other stuff that you guys were going through.
Yeah, that archive, back in the actual date year, I don't remember, but at some point in the 70s, when Marvel lost the court case, about the ownership of art,
mm-hmm.
The art was then given back to the artists. So that went back to Keller in a crate, and that this was either in that for whatever reason. he already had it for some other reason, but then the son now is we're now selling the estate's art for them, and this was like Todd said, it was just in there with it. They liked how they were very happy with us the first time around. So now, like other previous consigners that Alex is DC consigner and color guides and other things, they're happy with the service and they've continued with us. And this is when he said, I'm just sending you everything, just you guys sell it as you do. This was there, and it was really incredible find. And like Todd said, long lost until today, until now, which is really, really incredible. So anyway, on to Justice League.
Yeah, we got this Sikowski Justice League page, from issue 19.
Well, there aren't really any Wonder Woman collectors in this in Hake, so this will probably go somewhere else.
None are allowed to spend any money, no.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
She's not watching anyway. I'm telling you right now, she's at home watching Judge Judy, so it doesn't matter. But no, this is a cool page that it's a doppelganger of Flash and Wonder Woman. So you get two characters for the price of one in these panels. I think it's really nice.
Yeah.
Well, it's a really nice page. What year is this from?
63.
Yeah,
wow.
63.
60 years. Wow.
I know, that's crazy. But yeah, it's the first time we've seen a hero or heroine in Quicksand. Definitely.
Yeah.
So
Which they had to make note of that and make sure it was Quicksand on the bottom, which is cool.
yeah. Just so everyone's sure how to color it.
Don't forget Quicksand. Yeah.
This isn't mud or something.
Just on a side note, I was showing Todd, I just picked up a Infantino page that he did with the Teen Titans and New Teen Titans. Mm-hmm. And Changeling is there, Beast Boy, but as a bird. And in the margin, they wrote Green Bird.
Yeah, we got to get that right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is a very nice page. And what do we? What's your estimate on this one? Got a 5 to 10. It's already got halfway to the low end. So
it has room, so much room.
No, it's a great page.
So early.
And and again, 60-year-old Justice League page, and you're gonna have a lot of people.
That's a large page, right? If I'm not mistaken. That's
it's twice up.
Yeah,
I would think so. Yeah, did it say? Oh yeah, 14.5 by 21.5.
Yeah, that's a beautiful large, ready for your wall, someone's wall.
Let's see. So now we've got Jim Balint's Catwoman page here.
Yeah, another piece that's gotten a lot of action early on. It has a lot of attention. Really dynamic page.
I mean, we talked about this, Bill, when we did my show, because I like Balint and how little was really out there. That he has held most of his art, and a little bit that is out there is more so from the inkers than him. And that's a random assortment of pages, a couple covers if you're lucky, and only a couple splash pages I've ever seen, and none on this level. This is really, really, if you're into his art, and especially Catwoman run, this is a serious piece.
I love that mid-60s Mustang. That's just me. So good.
It's a bonus.
Well, I mean, his artwork on Catwoman is unmistakable. When I got the slides, I didn't even need to, confirm that it was Jim's work. So, yeah, I mean, I like his stuff a lot. I mean, so this is good. I mean, there's no reason this one should do really well because, like you said, there isn't a lot of his work out there. Even when you see like a con sketch or a commission that he does of her, they always do really well. And there's always there's a pretty decent number of collectors who just love his work and definitely love his work on Catwoman.
It's got a lot of interesting line work in it, and actually, I think looks a little better in black and white than the final colored work did.
Yeah, we almost always love it when it's in its raw format. Yeah, see, look at the colors on there, just stark.
Colors are super important.
Well, they play a role, but so this thing, let's see, it's already at 38.50. So from 1995, but that's the way they colored stuff back in the 90s. Everything was stark,
Yeah.
You know, and the art sometimes was lost in the coloring, that's for sure. And hey, on that last piece, Frank Giella mentioned that Julie Swartz wrote Quicksand on the
Did
art.
see that. Thank you, Frank. Yes.
Yeah. Well, Julie had very good handwriting. So yeah, let me see here. Next up, we got a flash page from Infantino. So it already has a bid on it at $500. So then, I mean, you got an ape. What more can you ask for? See, this flash kind of work here is just like classic Infantino. That and this panel right here.
Yep.
I just, you know, I mean, whenever I think of Carmine, I mean, I think of his work, him drawing the flash just like this, because he would do that even in other action sequences for other books and with other characters. But with the flash, it just works so well.
Well, I found it extremely humorous that he's not fast in this one. He is faster than the speed of thought. So that must really be fast.
Yeah, that's what I get for not reading the copy on the page before. He can land a dozen haymakers on this guy before he can even think of a defense. Well, I'd be impressed if it was 2 dozen, but you know, again, this is kind of an interesting page just in the way it was inked differently, right? I mean, the way you know, with the flash,
Yeah, it's definitely different for Infantino.
yeah, I mean, the way that he's handled the backgrounds and the other characters, but when Flash is racing about, I mean, it's funny how, I mean, it's not funny. I mean, you know why he's doing it. It just, but it's cool to see that difference. Maybe every Flash comic book by Infantino looked like that, but I've not noticed that before.
Well, that last panel almost looks like it's inked by someone else. It's so different, you know.
There you have it. Well, that's a good one from Infantino. And let's see what else we got here. Swamp Thing. It's from issue 50, a DPS. Let's take a look at this.
Yeah, it's a great 2-page spread. Actually, Alex, can I ask you, how many pieces of Swamp Thing art do you have?
Wow.
12 to 15, something like that.
Okay.
Why, you looking to buy?
I know a good place to consign. So,
What are the rates?
we'll talk about it. No, this is a great 2-page spread, I think.
Yeah, and
he's playing with the medium there. That's awesome.
From Alan Moore's run, and Todd can go into a little more detail because again, this is another one he did a description of. But the main thing is we did do a detail shot, Bill, of the characters. Because when you look at this, you see the eyes, you see the hands, but this has major dark characters, pre-Vertigo characters that are of importance.
Yeah, it's all in the details on this one. And Rick Veitch, come on, that's just, you know, it's great art.
Yeah. It's already overestimated too. This has gotten a lot of attention early on. And some of these original art estimates are conservative, and some it's just. I mean, we said it every single show. Original art is one of the more difficult things in the auction world to put an estimate on. It speaks to people differently. Each page, each cover, each artist, you know, everything is subjective and personal. So.
We run into demand, you know, people that have been looking for pages for years that haven't been around, and then when it comes out, you know, everybody's ready to stand up and make a grab for it. So
and it can get into collections and never come back out again. And
yeah, it's a timing thing.
Yep.
Now this one, the color adds a little bit. You know, it looks a little stark in that center in the art, but when you see it colored, it really gives it a different feel.
Like I said, it has Swamp Thing, it has Constantine, it has Dr. Fate, it has Phantom Stranger, has Demon, has Dead Man. Tiny, but they're all there. So it's a pretty, to me, a pretty special double page spread. Again, especially from being Alan Moore's run, which I have a huge admiration for.
Yeah, it's nice. I was curious how they printed the red, since I know they usually reverse it or something. But yeah, that came out pretty slick.
Yeah,
I love Rick's work too. And speaking of Hawkman, now we have another one here. This is from Jose Garcia Lopez.
Are there any Hawkman fans with us this evening? Anyone?
Nobody likes Hawkman.
There's a few out there. There are a few.
Oh, I'm nodding my head to Todd.
I like Hawkman.
Yes, he
Oh,
does.
Todd, I didn't know that. So you've got a.
I have a few pages of Hawkman. Yeah, I like Hawkman. I from the Silver Age up. This is a great double page spread. I mean, you can't hardly get a bigger image.
This doesn't give a sense of scale at all. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's pretty massive. It doesn't strike you necessarily as Garcia Lopez right away. Has a little bit of a different feel, but I think it's just the this itineration of Hawkman. It's a little more of the modern Hawkman.
Yeah, I agree with Jason that left bottom insert is great. It's intense. Yeah.
Yeah, I like how essentially just using the landscape and kind of blending it together. With seeing him from behind over here on the front. I mean, it just, as far as again back to a piece of art, this is really, really nice. I love it.
What kind of gives you the feel that he's searching? You can kind of get the emotion out of that.
Yeah, with the inlaid panel too. Agreed. It's got the white and black of the burn cover too, with Hawkman, which is also kind of just coincidental timing of it all.
Yeah, Tim asks who inked it.
I believe it's inked by Lopez as well.
I don't see.
Art. Yeah, he did everything.
Yeah,
I believe, right, Todd?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Yep, he did his own inks on it.
Colors are great on that too. Very, very dramatic. Yeah, I like that.
And
I like the foreshortening in the hand.
So what do we got? So this is I got a bid on it already.
Mm-hmm.
And as everybody can see, it starts ending in 8 days with the 20-minute clock resetting with bids.
9 p.m. 9 p.m. Eastern. Get your bids in before that if you can.
Bid early, bid often.
Yeah.
That is the motto.
Our motto.
So what do we got here? Superman 279, Kurt Swan.
So this is from the story. We had 6 or 7 pages last time, and we have the same amount this time, in which at one point Superman portrays Batman, and Batman's also in the story, and Batgirl's in the story. So it's kind of an interesting combination. And I think we have this time a couple pages, or at least one page, where Superman is taking off the Batman costume. I picked this one to show here just because of the action, but it's a pretty cool story.
It was nice of Superman to let her bust the glass for him.
He was going to have a secretary do it, Sean, but
yeah,
she wasn't in the story.
No. You should have kept your mouth shut, Sean. This is just trying to get back to her desk. That's what she's trying to do right now. Is that what
correct?
Yeah, she was caught not being at the desk to answer her phone. I'm sorry, that was me.
And Wes says you rarely see Superman team up with Batgirl.
Exactly. That's why that covers
very,
so
very
low.
true, Wes.
Good to hear from you, Wes.
Yes.
West is going to be at OAX too.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah. CBCS will be represented there. I've got West on Thursday night talking about what CBCS will be doing while they're there.
We have lots of CBCS books this auction. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, but from the Duke Caldwell collection, where he had about 12,000 comic books signed at conventions over the years. So
33 years.
Yeah.
33 years of collecting and not just collecting, but signing, having books signed in person. Incredible collection.
Wow. So now we've got, we have some Bob Kane artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this and the next piece comes from the Harry Matetsky collection. Harry was a dear friend of everyone here at Hake's. He passed away recently. He was also a major collector and historian. He wrote a book on Superman collectibles. He helped out on Chip Kid's Captain Marvel book. So we have a few pieces of his art, and then we have some rare Captain Marvel items and some Superman items. So again, on our website under the featured collection section, You can click on Harry Metesky. You'll get the whole backstory and see lots of amazing pieces, many first time at auction.
Yeah. Harry was a juggernaut in so many areas of collecting, well beyond my time. And, you know, he started, I mean, he was there when Ted started. Am I right, Alex?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
He was one of the original
And
starters.
this is really cool. As nice as that black and white piece was, I like the King color stuff, and you don't see it that often. Not versus the black and white. I just think this has a real different look to it.
Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah, I can't say I've seen too many color Bob Kane pieces before.
I don't know if I've ever seen him stylized like that either, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And so that one looks like it might have been framed at some point.
Yeah.
Yep. It doesn't detract from the piece at all. And what was the other piece? There was a search you had sent me. So this is
Yeah. So this is a weird jam piece. This is from a collection.
okay.
A person would just randomly get cartoonists and other artists to sketch their most famous characters together. So we have different configurations over the next couple auctions. We'll have several pieces. This is the first one we've offered, PSA certified and actually encapsulated. And it's just a very interesting mix of 4 major characters, and especially with Schultz and Kane on a single piece.
Have you seen others with Schultz and King, Alex, in your research?
Maybe one other. And this collection that we have has a number of pieces, and this was the only one that both are on a backer board like this. Yeah. So he didn't have this combination done too often.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Well, there's not a lot of Ziggy artwork out there either. So,
and I'm thinking I don't think I've ever seen a Friz Freeling Pink Panther.
Yeah, that too. So
yeah,
no,
rare.
Also not common on its own, let alone on this jam piece. Yeah.
Right.
Well, that'll be interesting to see where that one goes. It's already got a bid on it at 1,000.
Another piece that got some attention in New York. People like that.
Now we've got some toy art. I think we had some toy art in the last auction as well.
Kenner box art.
I could have bought this years ago, cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It won't be cheap now, Sean.
No. Yourself? Yeah, a little bit.
It's very PTSD moment. Sorry.
This thing is massive and colorful.
Yes,
this is really sweet. It just screams Kenner Batman. I believe I had this toy growing up. I'm pretty sure I had this toy growing up. So it spoke to me immediately when I saw it, and it's just the detail is great. And again, it's I believe larger than either to scale. And actually, I believe it is to scale to the massive box. Yeah, it's a great piece.
Are you sure you had this, or was it a Barbie Dream House?
It was. I flew this. I flew this to the Barbie Dream
all right,
House.
that makes sense.
I let Ken. Well, I don't want to get into all the
rails. That's off camera.
What I did with this, but Ken does fit. I'll just say that in the jet.
No, Kelly's right. This really is. I mean, it's
paint him in, Bill.
Hey, the things that we admit on this show, you just it's okay. What happens on the show and is said here stays there. Just
stays.
This is a great looking piece of art.
It's on the internet. I mean, I believe you. These are all archived, so I can't. That's. Thank you.
Kelly? Is this the only piece we have of art from this collection of the Kenner art, or was there
Kenner art from this collection? Yes. This is the only piece in Kenner art like this. Box art doesn't come up often, but this is the only one we have that he had. It was a large Star Wars and there's some other artwork in this auction from him, but a very large Star Wars collection that we are selling over time. He has other prototypes, some other art, and other Batman pieces, but this is what we have in the first offering from Tad Moore. So,
I'll say it every time. You published toy art is super rare.
Yeah.
If you look on CAF, even it's hundreds, if not thousands, of pages of OA and sketches before you come across the published toy art. It just isn't out there.
Yeah, yeah. I agree, and I remember in some of the prototype world, you'll come across like 10 to 1 unproduced prototypes to produced. So just because of how much was thrown around, I don't know if that's the case for toy art, but I know it is the case for, well, probably would be for the art, because the art wouldn't have been actually gotten that far. For concept art, for sure,
Mhm.
would have gotten that far. But yeah, to find published used is difficult. So this has a lot of room. This is a lot of room.
That's round 2814, aka Danny, just arrived. He's our number one Hawkman fan in the chat.
Nice.
So yes, you did miss out on a Garcia Lopez DPS and the John Byrne
Yes.
cover with Superman, Hawkman, and Hawkgirl on it. So yes, you'll have to rewind the show or go over to hakes.com and check out the auctions for yourself. So I didn't even check where this thing was at bid wise. Where are we at here? So it's active. It's very active. Yep.
Active.
All right. Now this one, I saw this one. This is a storyboard from the Superman cartoon.
Yeah. So this is from any art from the Fleischer
Good Lord.
cartoon series is incredibly rare. Certainly something as dynamic as this. And this is also from the very first short. So again, another piece from the Matetsky collection. I know one of his prized Superman items.
Yeah.
Another one that does not come along every day.
It just goes to show his depth of what he acquired and his taste.
Man, it was already 20 years old plus, maybe even 30 years old when he got it, probably.
Yes.
Mhm.
Probably, if not older. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah.
And as Todd does, we try to find images to use as examples, whether it's the page that was published or the cover. And in this case, Todd found a great screenshot.
I watched a cartoon and tried to screen grab like what looked like it was pretty much the panel. So
I love that game.
Pretty good on to me. Yes,
and I love the Fleischer stuff. I mean, this used
Yeah.
to be on like when Saturday morning cartoons. Right before that, they'd rerun the Fleischer stuff, and it's beautiful. That is some of the most beautiful animation, and they get a chance at preliminary like this when you think just the age of it and how that stuff was disposable for sure when they were doing that kind of animation. It's a cool piece, and it's a great short. It's a great cartoon.
And West, it is all pencil.
That's important because a lot of these animation pieces that you see end up getting, they copy them and pass them around the bullpen.
No, this is all art.
Yeah, it's all graphite.
Crazy history. Wow.
Yes.
Well, I've never seen one before. That's pretty cool. So you get on this one to get it started. Yeah. And it was on, what's the size? Oh, 13 by 16. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, let's see. We've got a Schuster and Sikela. John Sikela. I'm not familiar with that name. Funny Man number 2 page. It's got $600 in the bid so far.
Todd, did you do the description on this? Or was this
No,
Mike?
that was Mike.
So this is interesting in that this is a Siegel and Schuster creation, and this was something that they were going to have or wanted DC to publish, but they wanted rights, and DC said no. So then they went outside to forget what the publisher even ended up being on this. Magazine Enterprises of Canada. And it was a very short-lived series, I think 5 or 6 issues. So again, art that doesn't come up too often.
I did track down the comic online, and it's several like short stories with this character in. It's not like one long comic feature. It was just several shorts. So
Yeah, this was their
There you go.
comeback attempt.
It might have been the last thing that they did together, if anybody knows that.
I don't know. West might. Yeah, a prequel to Funny Girl with Streisand, but it was a very early prequel, if that were Marcus. No, that's really cool. Again, a Funny Man is not a title that I have ever heard of before. Now we got some Kid Colt. Let's see, it's a partial. So we have an 8-page story here. This is from the, assuming the same Keller Estate stuff. We got Dick Ayers inks on this one. So you get the opening bid of 500, which it doesn't have yet, and the estimate between 1,000 and 2. This is over here.
And Todd, what do we have? With 12, 15 lots of Keller.
I think it's about a dozen. Yeah, somewhere in there.
Mostly full stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty close. It's beautiful art. You know, it's cowboys. I'm a fan, but you know that's. Jack Keller does a great job. I mean, he, you know, has a great feel for anatomy, does a great job with horses, which, you know, if you're an artist, you know, horses are a little tricky. And it's just some nice little stories. And but yeah, it's a great archive. And again, this stuff's been lost. If you know, you wanted Jack Keller, these stories haven't been out there, so it's a good chance to get in there and get some nice pieces by Keller.
Yeah, not bad at all. I mean, 8 pages. You're doing okay even with the opening bid. So you think that you'd have some? So you say you have how many lots of these?
Probably about a dozen from him this time, somewhere around there. And we have more to offer coming up.
Yep. This one's got a bid on it to get it started. The Bad Man. There you go.
Yeah, that was sort of a short little backup story.
It's like Lee Majors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Valley era.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. Kid Colt. Wow. So what year is these? 65. My goodness.
Yeah, I think it ranges from the late 50s to the early 60s.
Then what we got here? Recreation by Joe Simon. These are always cool to see.
So it's another Metesky collection item, and it's big. You know, it's recreation.
These again. The photos online never give them scale. I mean, I got one behind me.
No, it's large. It's colorful. I don't know if he did this more than one time. I couldn't find another recreation of this cover. Again, another piece I know that Harry really liked, and you can see why. I mean, it's for anybody that likes Captain America. I know they are few and far between, but
rare and super cool. Pet Club.
Yeah, it is pretty nice.
What was Bucky in there and a little bondage. So
Bucky in bondage, yes. 22 1/8 by 28 frame size.
Yeah, it's a nice piece for display.
So yeah, that's still 22. Yeah, still 16 by at least 22. That's large art, larger than large art. Wes thinks he saw this one sell in Sotheby's back in the 90s. That was
probably right about that. Yep.
That was back when the comic art was definitely getting its due with those early auctions from them. But yeah, this is cool. There's no way it doesn't get bid on and picked up by somebody. And then we've got the corner box art from the master himself, Joe Jusko. He did many of these, as I think everybody knows, and yeah, they're all fantastic.
Yeah, and then this was one that after he started that series and Marvel liked it, this was actually published as a cover. So I think it's cool. In fact, I think twice published. They did 2 different covers
Two
using
different
this image.
variants. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty slick. I was happy when he was working on those. It's always good to see an artist like do something that they enjoy, and they actually get kudos from the publisher, and they actually want to use it. You know, I mean, you always see, you know, a lot of artists do inventory work all the time, right, and submit it to the publishers and hope that it gets printed. But when Joe was working on those, you just knew one way or another that they had to see print somehow. So yeah, that's fantastic. And so it's already got $3,400 as a bid, and yeah, it's easily going to make estimate for sure. I did like the Cyclops one, Marcus. I did not bid on it though, but I probably should have, at least to drive the price up a little bit on there and show you that he is the best X-Men character of all time. So we got a couple bids on this already. This is, I assume this is just a commission style pinup from Starlin, right? But
Yeah.
you get Warlock, you get Captain Marvel, you got Thanos. That's on 11x14. It's already $1,100. Pretty nice.
And it's a nice piece. It really embodies sort of that late 70s, early 80s Marvel style that he did. It doesn't look like a rush piece or something he did quickly. This has a little bit of thought in it. I did see a very similar piece he had done with a little more background in, but similar makeup. But you have, you know, Thanos sort of controlling the situation, getting the upper hand there. So it just is classic Starlin all the way.
Definitely. Yeah, that's nice. So yeah, $1,100 on that one. Let's see here. Oh, got some X-Men art. Jay Lee. That should make some of our X-Men fans in the audience. I don't know if we had. Well, are any of our major X-Men fans in the audience right now? I'm sure they know this piece is out there though. So
and this is interesting because it's early Jay Lee.
Yeah.
He did very little X work. It's a beautiful splash page. Todd, this is when you did the description, yes?
Yeah. There was, you know, it's from an annual, so there's several stories. This is sort of a little short, you know, half dozen or so page story. But boy, if you like Archangel, this is a great shot. You know, it's dynamic. It's got, you know, some action going on, and it's the title page. So yeah, this is a good chance to get it. And another one that a collector had for quite a while, and it's sort of just, you know, now available. So it's a good chance to get it if you're an Archangel fan and want some nice X-Men art.
You can see it's early for Jay Lee. I mean, at first glance, it doesn't look like his style, and it's certainly not what he evolved into.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when was his first published work? It's got to be close to that time.
No, it's right around this. This was in the first year before he started doing Sub. I think we're right around the same time as Sub, Todd.
Yeah, it's right in there. Yeah.
I don't recognize the costume on Archangel. Was that?
That's when he had like that metallic look.
Well, it's a nice piece. I've never seen it before, at least not that I remember.
Yeah, in the color version, it's obviously the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of in that Jim Lee vein of time period, you know.
Yep.
Let's see. So then one other piece in this tab, and then I'm going to have to open a different window. So we've got some. What is this issue? Issue 35. Let's go over here. McCloud.
Yeah, it's a solid McCloud page. You get Thing all through it. A great little Cyclops, yeah. Colossus peeking around the corner. So, you know, you get a little X-Men in there with Thing.
It's almost a Paul Smith Colossus, practically, the way that's penciled and inked.
Yeah, it's very similar.
Yeah.
Bob did a great job.
Well, we have a few Thing fans out there. But yeah, that's a nice page. I like it.
You still catch Moon Knight at the bottom. So
Yep.
you get a nice panel on Moon Knight too.
Cool. What was estimate on this 1 to 2, and it's already at 610. That's yeah, it doesn't surprise me. So let's see here. I have to switch over to a separate tab because I don't want to open all those tabs in one spot here. So let's see this to that.
That was the sound of me watching that last page.
All right, let's see. Resize this a tad here. Okay. All right. So next up, we got this Werewolf by Night, one of those foreign covers. This is a Spanish cover, and you get Moon Knight in a. I mean, I've seen these before with these colors. It's curiously colored, but
yeah, reminiscent of what the Japanese did with Batman, where the colors make no sense, but it makes it interesting. And this would be, a nice early, reprint of Moon Knight's first outings.
Yeah, because this would have been the second appearance.
Second.
Right, yeah. And that's another Rafael Lopez SP, which we have multiples every time, or multiple pieces by him. Extremely prolific. And we have another one coming up as well. But, sometimes the covers were nearly identical, but maybe just a little different coloring. Sometimes he took license and did different riffs on things, and sometimes he would take panels from the inside and take that as inspiration for the cover. So he got a mix of SB just depending on what he wanted to do with that cover. This one's fairly true to the U.S. issue, outside of the coloring.
And so this is around 1975. So Rafael Lopez SB. I saw Tim was asking who the artist was on this one.
You're right. So Tim, every time I get the catalog, I find something I don't catch online. It's just something about it, or so much stuff. So
yeah,
we do have catalogs available. It's getting close to the auction, but if you'd like a catalog, we do have some available. Just reach out to us.
Let's see here. So we go over to here. Another Moon Knight cover.
Yeah, so this would have been so this is issue number 8, but this was a Moon Knight title versus the last piece we had.
Tim said he's received catalogs previously, but not anymore. How would somebody in the audience go about getting on your on the Hake?
So if you are an active bidder, that is, if you bid in the last year, win, lose, or draw, you stay on the mailing list. If you don't, you drop off, but you still would get our flyer. If you're not getting either of those, just contact us and we can send out a sample. But the easiest way to stay on the list is to bid with us.
Simple enough. Yeah, it is a big fist, Marcus. Right in your face with a gun on it. So you don't want to mess with this guy. Look, he's got a scope for an eye.
it's like Frank and Deadshot.
Yes, exactly. That is not what I was thinking, but that suits it. That's gonna Caballero Luna. I like that. Let's see the color guides. This is up Sean's alley. Here, look at him rubbing his hands like a kid at Christmas.
He woke up.
So good.
So this one already has a bid. It's at 1,000, and I mean, come on. I'll go over there. Look at this thing, man. So cool.
There it is. The original cover color guide to 104, and then reworked for Masterworks. He reworked it on the border, so the original's in the center. And the book's all original too, baby. Classic key, early Cockrum, his homage to X-Men #1. I love that cover.
Well, this one was really cool because there's a picture that shows like a clip area where he did Magneto with the magnetic lines actually over top of him, I guess, to kind of experiment.
Yep.
Make it a little more like X-Men 1, where you get Magneto's back. and I guess they didn't like that, it covered his face, so they didn't use it. But that extra piece is included. He still had it.
I think it's the second image, Bill. What he's talking about.
All right, here. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, you can see on the right where the magnetic waves are in front of him, which looks pretty cool. But I don't know that obscuring the villain, was something they would go for. But it is neat.
And Colossus is floating freely as well. Like he wanted to do something experimental with that too, and didn't. I'm not sure. I didn't talk to him about it specifically because I didn't know it was loose on the cover until I got it, and I didn't go to his house till after he'd already passed. So I'm not sure what he was doing there, but I know Colossus is not attached to the board, kind of floating free.
Well, it's very cool. And Dina, we haven't shown the Willingham Elementals yet, although I did look at them before the show. But yeah, that's really nice. $1,000 on that one. Yeah, that's going to easily get into the estimates as well. And then you have this one as well, issue 105.
Now that one is a true Masterworks cover, but then the interiors are the original and the Masterworks.
Got it.
So again, you're reading true key early X-Men complete stories. So you can read the book and have the only copy in the world.
Well, these are great. No bid on this one yet, but it will certainly have that before it's over. And we got some more color guides here. Look at that door front and center on that one. Now, what do you? So these come with it, or how many color guides are in the lot? Just the 4?
No, a lot.
No, it's a huge stack. I have sort of an estimated page count
in
there.
There it is.
It's a telephone book.
It is a stack. Oh my goodness.
Well, when they did the deluxe version, they used some of the original version and the deluxe, so it's sort of an intermingled stack. So you get a little bit of different page layout depending on which version it was in.
Interesting. Well, that one's doesn't have any bids on it yet, but I can't see how it would not.
Well, those always jump the last day.
216 individual sheets. So, yeah, that's quite a bit.
Yeah, they're going for $5 a piece right now.
Right. Well, I mean, not even 3.
Yep.
So, yeah, that is a steal at the moment. So then we have another one here. And what is it got? I want to see the count now first. Approximately 200 sheets in this set. There's that. You got Wolverine, Valkyrie, very nice. The Watcher never looks so good. So that one's somebody smart there. They got a bid on that one. They must be a Wolverine fan.
And Bill, before we move
on, sure. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. No, I didn't. I meant on to the next piece. I just want to address Timothy. So you bid in 235, which was 4 auctions ago. So you would have received 3 after that, but that would have meant you missed this one. But now that you bid, you will get the next 3. And I also see that one is put in the mail tomorrow for you. So you'll have this catalog as well.
There you go, Tim. Well, it's always, you got to have a hard, fast rule with stuff like that, right? As far as sending things out. I mean,
if I told you the cost of the catalog, yeah, you would understand why.
Oh, yeah. No. Well, yeah, I'm getting into that physical world goods nowadays. And yeah, I'm learning a whole lot about costs on things. It's surprising.
And the cost of paper has gone up, and supply chain issues still exist there. The catalog has almost doubled in the last couple of years as far as print goes, and don't even get me started on postage because that's not going down either. So, yeah.
Up by the day, every day.
Right.
It was up.
Let's see here. So we got this is a Adlard Walking Dead from issue 149 cover artwork.
Yeah, so this is to me pretty incredible, and I'm a big Walking Dead fan, comic book and television show. But you have two of the major characters, Rick and Negan, together. Negan has never looked more evil than on this cover. I think it's a fantastic piece.
Yeah, you could certainly argue it's the main villain and the main protagonist for sure.
Yeah, this is great. And this is, when Charlie was doing pencils and having his pencils were being inked by somebody else, but he still did the covers 100% himself.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, this is a fantastic image from him.
I just like how he has his hand on his shoulder, like, "Hey, buddy."
Yeah, no, it's great. Charlie was definitely the right guy to, see that book through. I mean, his style fit it so well. So this one's already got 3,300 in bids on it. So yeah, not too bad there. Flaming Carrot from a comics interview cover. How do you like that? Now that's
tell them you can just skip this one, Bill.
You can just skip this one, Bill. No one likes Flaming Carrot.
I'm
the biggest Burden fan in the building.
Yeah,
I have every issue. When I saw this, I couldn't believe it. I'm sure this was a unused cover, and early, but there's white out in the trade dress on the number, so I can't quite deduce what it might have been planned for.
Mm-hmm.
But then it got picked up later and used for another issue of a comic review for to actually get it in print. So. But it's just classic. You get the full Flaming Carrot. You get, Burden. It's all there. You definitely know who it is. So I'm a big fan of this one. I like this one. So.
Well, I'll embarrass myself and say that I never read Flaming Carrot. I missed out. I know.
Never read it. Sean?
It's one of those things where I was like too young, so.
Kelly?
You guys are old.
I don't know what he's saying, Todd. I think he's saying you're too old, Todd.
Well,
that means.
Sadly, I think I'm becoming the elder statesman here. So
I thought you were going to tell him you're going to meet him in the parking lot after.
Hey, look, we mentioned her a couple of times already, right? So Maddie, our new photographer and graphic designer, was born in the year 2000. So everybody here feels old. Then you take a picture of this Flash Gordon item. She says, "Who's that?" Yeah.
And I just remember, when independents were really, coming into their own. I have the whole run of Cerebus 1 to 300. I was a big Dave Sim fan. Flaming Carrot. So a lot of that, the black and white independent stuff, and I've just always been a big fan, and it led into a lot of the great stuff that we have now. Close and his contemporaries. Kind of came out of this stuff.
And they didn't have Flaming Carrot underoos, so.
Todd,
there's still time.
If Sean couldn't wear it, it wasn't important. They probably had like the Tick underoos though. Did you like the Tick, Sean?
I was a big fan of the Tick. I still kind of am with that too.
Nope. The Tick I read a lot of, so I don't know why. Flaming Carrot was around. I just didn't pick it up.
Tick was just fun. Flaming Carrot, that's you either get it or you don't. It's a little out there, but Tick was a little more mainstream. And then you had the cartoon version, you had the shows, which were all hilarious. So Ben England did a great job with that.
Mm-hmm. Bootlegging. So they met Bob Burden at Dragon Con. That's cool. And then Josh said that he was at a comic shop and somebody asked for Archie, and the kids working there didn't know who that was.
That's sad.
That is sad. I mean, come on. Even on TV, and the kids don't know. My goodness. Yeah. Well, this is a cool piece, and we're gonna see something from Close in a little bit, actually.
Mhm. Yeah.
So what do we got here? Concrete back cover. Paul Chadwick is the next piece. This one's got some bids on it already.
This falls right in there with the independent stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is a back cover. It's early. It's a great image. Chadwick's got concrete dead center. This is a precursor to the next issue 3, and it's the origin of concrete, which getting this made me go back and read that. I was just like, wow, this is really great. And the two human images there, one is actually the character that becomes concrete, and then his friend. So if you haven't read Concrete or haven't been to it for a while, go back and read it. It is great. And Paul Chadwick's work is just so crisp and clean. And this image is just, it blew me away. I think it's just really great.
Looks like Patterson Gimlin concrete. It's a cool image.
Yeah, I mean, it's a gorgeous illustration.
Background.
It really is.
We got a lot of creator creation art in this auction too.
Yeah.
Starlin, Thanos.
More coming up next.
Yeah, the Sergeant Rock prototype is pretty cool.
Let's see here. So we got a couple Stan Sakai pieces.
Another one.
Yeah, I got really excited when I first saw this because I'm like, this 100% is a cover. What cover is this? But it appears to be a commission recreation at some point. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely, just like the Anything Goes cover, and then they did a trade that used the same cover, but the background is just slightly different. The broken wooden things are just a little different. So it's we could just peg it as a specialty piece. But boy, if you want a specialty piece without paying the cover price, for the actual printed cover, you should grab this one. It's gorgeous. Yeah. But, and again, looks better in black and white than colored, I think.
What I was going to say, though, and if you want a color piece, the next one is, pretty impressive.
Oh, wow, yeah. That's great. 88. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's definitely an early one, and I guess the humor of it is, if you know the Sakai work, he started out with the Nilsson Ground Thumper. That was going to be the creation, and then Usagi Yojimbo actually became more popular, and the other characters sort of fanned off to the side, and Usagi's history from there. So it's a great specialty piece if you're really a deep dive Sakai fan.
And that's a lot of great independent characters. And is this all the same collection? That's crazy, man.
Yeah, somebody had some kind of insider
great
connection. Yeah.
He's a long-time insider collector, and all of the underground and independent art came from him. Yeah. All the very last minute. Sorry, Todd.
Hey, to get this kind of stuff, I'll stay late.
Yeah.
Oh, wait till next auction.
Bring it. I'll take better art.
Yeah, he had very good taste and some rather incredible stories he had as well from the 80s convention stories of
and everyone heard Todd. So any consignor out there that has art, please send it at the last minute. Attention, Todd Sheffer.
That would be like around January 20th, roughly somewhere in there. Please don't do that. We're open and available for consignment right now, all through the year into the holidays.
Yep.
Todd will work on Christmas Day if he gets
no,
more.
Seriously, we're talking about our November auction, but we are already putting together January auction and a March auction right now. So
yes, we are.
So we've got some here from 87.
If you're a Ron Lim fan, this is early Ron Lim, and
ladies.
it's a great cover. You got all the characters there.
And Josh remembers this one. I do not, from 87.
X Mutants even spawned a video game on Sega, if I remember right. So it was popular enough.
Well, they all look like they're ready to jazzercise a little bit, but I'm sure they kick butt too. No, I think it's great. But this is the stuff that reminds you of the 80s and the independent era so much. So I mean, this is it in a nutshell. This is great.
That was a good reference, Todd. I forgot about that game. That was, you had X Mutants and you had Shakan at the same era, basically. That early 90s Sega comic book obscure character run.
I bet you both of those games are in the console behind Alex.
They are.
Yeah, they are.
I know Shakan is.
This is an incredible machine I have back here. If you ever had one, you would never give it up, is all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Only a real jerk would give
4,000.
How often is the door closed to Alex's office and you can hear him playing it? Is the real question.
Every other hour, I'd say, is a nice hour break. You know, really, it's the Hake's auction tournaments that go on late into the evening that he may or may not know about. I may have just ruined that one for us all, but
your keys to Alex's office will be revoked now.
I've just learned of a camera, so right now,
not only here but at your house too. I'm always watching.
I thought something was going on. All right, well, I hope you enjoy the show.
Not really.
No bids on that Ron Lim yet, but I'm sure they're forthcoming. So here's the pieces that Dino was referencing earlier, the two Elementals pieces. You got a wraparound cover, right here from, what was this, issue 20. And that one's got a few bids on it already. I think it's over 1,000. Very nicely done. Everybody knows I love Willingham Elementals, so.
And it's a beautiful wraparound, so you get like a nice big piece of art.
Mm-hmm. And I assume this is probably oversized too, because most of his stuff, this is 20 by 24 and a half. So it's, all these were huge. I don't know why he worked, on such a scale. I still have I have the Amazing Heroes cover, and it's same thing. It's like literally 20 by 24 by itself. It doesn't even fit in any of my portfolios. So yeah, he definitely liked working in a larger scale for certain. But I'll tell everybody, if you have any pages from issue 1 through 4, I'd love to get them. I like the earliest stuff.
I agree too. I finally remember reading those early issues.
Yeah, the art was closest to his D&D style, and it's in a way. But this one, I saw this piece too, it made me think of it too, because it's still a little different. It's still later. This is from issue 21, but a great. Again, this is everything you'd want in a good Willingham Elementals page here.
I love this one because it just hits me like, if you didn't know this was a comic book spread, you'd say this could be pop art. It's just got that whole blam wham kind of effect thing going on there. It's just one giant panel, and it just looks great. It's really dynamic.
Yeah, I like this one. So, and I think both of these were already, like this one's, I think it's the same price. So clearly a Elementals fan is going after these. This one's at 1,101. And I think at least earlier, that one was the same price. So same number of bids too. So that's cool. Then let's see here. Let me open these up right. So we've got a Brian Stelfreeze cover, Cyclops. And when was this? This is it's oversized, wraparound, and I'm trying to find the year on here quickly, and I don't see it. Oh, 88.
88. Another wraparound cover, fully painted.
Wow, that is good. Hey, I can tell everybody we secured Brian Stelfreeze for a panel on Saturday, 2:00.
Nice.
Comic Art Live. Yeah, I've actually never talked to him. All the times I've seen him at shows, he's always busy painting. I just figure he's like a guy I don't want to approach to bother him, because he's making marvelous artwork, right? But yeah, I get to hang out with him on Saturday. This is cool. Got to be early for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the next piece too. So yes, when you talk to him, make sure you bring up this Colossus Gold's gym piece that we have next.
All right, let's see here.
That's cool.
Yeah, is that airbrushed? I mean, look at that. That's
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
Now, was this done for Gold's Gym? Is the question? Is there a story behind this?
Nothing that I could find.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll ask Brian about it on Saturday.
Yeah, because I think, Kelly, wasn't this the one that the story that came with it, we didn't convey because we weren't sure this was a Marvel tryout?
Yes, it was his tryout to work for Marvel. Yes, it was his resume in color. So I'm very curious to see if I'm pretty sure that is right. I mean, the source I got it from is there's no reason for him to make it up, but or he may have not remembered entirely, but I'd be curious to hear if that is the story.
Well, I'm going to ask.
Yeah.
I'll see. It's just, I mean, he always had that color sensibility even back then. You figure if this is his tryout piece for Marvel, wow.
Yeah.
So, and it's got its $200 bid on. What was the Cyclops piece? I didn't even look to see where it was at or what the estimates were. So it's had no bids yet, $500 and a $1,000 to $2,000 estimate on that one. And you got an Eastman sketch on a Turtles 1 cover.
Yeah, first print. Yeah, this means as much as this auction is full of other signed comics, this came from a different collection, and this is, I mean, any grade of the first print is worth having, and a 9.2 is just a very, very nice high grade.
I snuck this in here when we were doing our independent stuff, and there's a later piece next that has a sketch. So not full on art like we've been talking about, but art adjacent for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice to have a sketch on the front. I've seen sketches on the back. I've seen sketches inside. It's nice to have the sketch right on the front of the book. Nice remark.
Pretty cool. Yeah, Turtles fan would love that.
Oh yeah.
Well, shoot, and you got 3 bids, and it's over 12,000. So
yeah,
like Tim just said, that's worth gold. He was right. So he's probably was talking about the Colossus piece, though. All right. So what do we got next? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collected volume. We got another sketch, or pair of sketches in there with Laird and Eastman.
Yes,
that's nice.
That's a rather cool book, and I believe is limited to 1,000.
1,000.
Yes, that's right. Duh, right there. 1,000.
And Todd, you did the description. All 1,000 had double sketches like this.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
And
were they in the same room, the two of them?
Oh, hard
At
to
the
say.
time, yes, they were.
I know they're hard to get together these days, and you got the 40th anniversary coming up in 2024. I think May, or is it April? I forget what month it actually came out. So I have a feeling that Eastman, as if he hasn't been out there a ton in the last couple of years, he's probably going to be out all year long traveling and promoting 40th anniversary of the Turtles. At least I would if I was him. So here you go. Now here's you get a Flaming Carrot reference on this, and you get a Daniel Klaus illustration of Mr. Poussey.
From the same collection, same guy.
And from the first year of 8-Ball. So early and historic.
Yep. Goes to your nod there, Sean, of Creators Creations.
Dig it.
Yeah, and presented to Bob, right? So artist to artist.
Artist. Very cool piece.
Well, I'll probably never be able to own a published piece from 8-Ball, but that would be something to own.
We can deliver this to you in person.
That's true. You could. So it's at 6:05, and I would like to. I mean, whenever his published work comes on the market, it's always
Yes.
Yeah.
highly sought after.
Yeah, we had a
but
cover a number of years ago that did, close to 30,000, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love his work. I think I like him as much as a writer, as an artist. I just think his total creation is very unique. He just Monica just came out, his latest graphic novel. So he's one of my favorites.
Well, that's nice to see for sure. I may have to throw a bid on it. We've got a Dorian Clevenger. No, this is a cover recreation.
Yeah.
Here.
I forget how many Dorian pieces we have in this auction. Is it about
Like a dozen. I think we have a couple more coming up. I want to spotlight this one just because it's Shadow and it's superhero related and pulp related, and I think a lot more detailed than some of the other pieces that we have this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is done in a little different style, and it's a little softer. The color's a little softer, and it really does have that pulp feel. It really hits you as, very close to Steranko.
Yeah.
Yes. Sir.
Yeah. When this was based on his Steranko paperback cover.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very cool. Girls in Tubes is a big deal, says West. So another piece by Dorian. This is a Vampirella painting. Not bad. From 05. So currently at $242.
And we have some specialty pieces. We have some commissions. We have some published pieces. So we had a dozen or so a year or more ago, and these are more from that collection. So if you're into Dorian's art, we've got a pretty wide selection.
Then what is it? So Wrightson from Ghostbusters. Yeah, there you go. Look at that.
Yeah, this is some nice concept art. Some character, creature creation, and you get 4 different views. It's not just one static thing. He kind of has the standing on all 4s, the running with the tongue out. So it's a nice piece.
Yeah, I don't know how much Wrightson got into concept or like any kind of movie concept or pieces like this. So, I mean, if anyone knows, let me know. I'm not sure how much he did in this vein.
No, it's nice. I mean, I've seen some character piece things in the past, but I'm not sure things that ended up being in film or not. But yeah, this is a great piece. All pencil. What's the size on it? 15 by 22.
That's a big piece.
Yep. And something by, is that Struzen? Is that what it said?
Yeah,
Struzen.
Yeah, VHS original art for the VHS cover. Yeah, this. I mean, Drew. His name is the most prolific movie poster artist ever. Over 150 movie posters that he's ever done. Back to the Future, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Mallrats. He goes all over the place. He's retired now, but he also did a handful of Young Indiana Jones VHS cover art, and we have one piece in this auction now, among other VHS art that we're about to see. But this is the first time this has ever been to auction. It came passed through hands, but as far as coming to auction, whenever anything Struzen comes up, it's incredible. But this is a very serious piece, as we all know the name.
Mm-hmm.
His art style is, yes, yes, it is. A lot of stuff is at the Illustrators Museum, but I love this. His style is great, really great.
I did try to get Struzen to come to OAX, but not up for it, unfortunately. But yeah, he's somebody. I think he's an artist that I think there wouldn't be a single artist in the room that wouldn't want to meet him. shake his hand.
Oh, I'd love to meet him.
What an
Yeah,
influence he's been. Yeah.
yeah. Maybe the next one.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I just know he's, like you said, he's retired, and
Yes.
Galactic Gallery in Texas, sells a lot of his stuff. So, at least there's that out there. Josh says a bunch of his stuff is at the New York Illustrators Museum right now. Society of Illustrators, I imagine. Yeah, there. Oh, and then he said, not paying attention to the chat like I should. Thank you, Josh. But yeah, very cool. Very cool to see Struzen. Then let's see, another young Indiana Jones VHS original.
Yes, this is by Mike Butkus. There's a few other pieces that he did. Drew didn't do them all, but Mike came in and did some others. This one, again, is very dynamic war scene, but this, I think we have 3 or 4 from Mike, and then the one from Drew in this auction. Actually, these are all now, I think, on Disney Plus. If everyone wants to go back and watch them, if you have them on VHS, please do. They're all great. But
yeah, it was a good series for the era for sure.
Yeah.
I have not seen a single episode, but I do have Disney Plus, so
It's on there.
All right.
We are not
That's my
sponsored.
homework before I see you guys at OAX. I'll watch it, and I'll let you know,
Right.
what my rating of it is.
Nice.
Mr. Easy Go Lucky said that that they actually worked with Mike for a few years. Very cool.
Right on.
And he met at Struzen when he was at the Art Center. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jeff Wack. I'm not familiar with that artist's name.
He's an illustrator who's done other pieces similar to this, other illustrated, published, used pieces. This is very interesting because it's the VHS cover art, but it was used for 87 double episode tapes. So most people who's ever owned Star Trek: The Next Generation on VHS has seen this, because it wasn't just used once; it was used throughout the entirety of it, and it's a very recognizable piece. It's pictures of him actually signing it later on. But speaking of large, this is large. This is basically almost 20 by 30. Very large piece, as you can see by him signing right there. If you're a Star Trek fan, I'd be surprised if you haven't seen this in person, or seen the VHS just over time, and it's just a great piece.
Cool. This one's got a bid to start off at $2,000 too, so that's a good way to get it going.
And actually, there was an alternate version, which is the next lot. It's not here, but if you go to our website, you can see an alternate version of this art is also in the auction. But this is really great. This is fantastic. This is used for a promotional mask at the video store. This is also large, 14 by 18. This is, I think, is your favorite piece in this collection, Alex, I believe.
Oh, definitely. Well, I'm a horror movie fan, but yeah, this was a die cut mask that was a promo giveaway for the video release of Part 7.
Yeah.
This is much bigger than the actual published mask, and it's another one that's in person is really cool, just because it's instantly identifiable as to what it is and what it's from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's interesting is on the mask, when you die cut, you think they would cut the black border out, but it's there. They actually you pop it out of that black edge. It's a small tidbit, but yeah, it's a very cool horror piece. And speaking of like movie poster art and other things, there may be something coming up in the next auction, and we'll see when that comes in. But it's
I emailed that person today. Yeah, just put it out there. We're working on a pretty historic piece of original poster art for a major horror movie. So hopefully that is one piece that we lead off with next auction, and when we have this calf show.
Yep. Well, I can't wait to see what that is. I'm intrigued. What era?
80s.
Early 80s.
Oh, even better. All right.
Early 80s major franchise of horror movies.
No more hints.
Okay, stop right there.
Chud.
So we have a Cinderella animation cell here.
Yes. This is, as far as what I've seen, one of the nicest poses I've ever seen of a Cinderella cell. It's you see many other scenes. This is just posed perfectly. And actually, this came from a long time collection that we sold the majority of it before, and these were what were saved by that collector, and sort of his favorite pieces, this and the next that we're going to see. So this was his handpicked on the wall, and sold at the very end of the collection. So I mean, everything else we sold for him was very nice, but these are extremely special.
This is a big full figure image, painted background. Yeah, you'll see Cinderella cells, but you rarely will see a Cinderella cell of this magnitude.
Yeah, it was on his wall for a reason. It stuck there so long for a reason, and it's only coming to auction now. It's finally being sold. I believe he had passed, or I actually don't. It's one of Alex's consignments, so I don't remember the exact story, but it's very special. So. Yeah.
And trust me, Kelly knows his Disney princesses, so when he says that, he means it.
Well, I have some things I got to move on the wall. Other areas where these are probably going to have to go, but yes, right. That is very true.
Well, he knows his Barbies and the Disney princesses, and clearly Sean knows when to keep his mouth shut.
Sometimes he's learning. You're getting better.
I'm a slow learner, but I haven't learned yet.
You're getting better, Sean. Yes.
Oh gosh, I can't wait to get you guys together at OAX. We're gonna have a good time. So little some more Disney action here, I guess, right? Sleeping Beauty.
Same collection, but equally impressive. Again, big, full figure, painted background. Both of these, Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty, are really exceptional cells.
Yeah, her in the pink gown is even harder to find. Her and Prince Philip dancing in this scene, very difficult to find. And also, with everyone knows with cells, condition is everything. These are stored properly, so these are just. We can talk about these until the end of time. But these are just amazing cells for this world. The moment captured here is just great. So,
and a little more animation cells. You get the Grinch here.
Yeah, so this is a period production cell used, not screen use, but promotional use, and they did a number of these, and executives and important people in the industry got these, and this is double signed by Dr. Seuss and Chuck Jones. So if you're into Seuss and the Grinch, this is a key piece.
Yeah. Just in time for Christmas.
It's got Berkey's name all over it.
Yeah, he's got a few Grinch cells at his place.
Nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
And you get the signatures on it too. So yep, got a bid. I was gonna say there's no way it doesn't have a bid already. So that's good. Bring out the Grinch. That's much better, Josh. Let's see here. So cool. Matt Groening, right? Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So we have one of these last auction that brought 13 to 14,000. This was a redemption card. They were supposedly to do 400 of these. If you got the redemption card, you sent it in, and on the spot, Matt would then do a sketch. But in all our research, we've seen a dozen or so out there, so I don't think anywhere near the 400 were ever redeemed. Most are slightly different. Some are just an image. This is nice that it's has a word balloon and it actually says original art.
Yeah, I love that about this one.
And graded, authenticated by PSA, and so a 9 on the card, a 7 on the auto, just because it pen skipped a little bit on his signature. But these are over the last few years have really become highly coveted as Matt's artwork is more and more desirable as the years go by.
Definitely. I got to get Matt to draw like the next OAX shirt, man, and be OA man. You know, I think we could. I can dream.
Yeah, pull some strings.
Yeah. So I figured there'd be some bids on that one because you've got history now. You know, you've got a reference point from the last auction. Let's see, Garfield puzzle art from the Davis Studio.
Yeah, so most people will know that there's no shortage of Garfield art on the market.
Yeah.
But that's mostly strip art. Color art is much more rare, and this is just a great piece. Nice gag, large, most likely published. We couldn't pinpoint it. It certainly looks like a calendar page to me, but that we don't know.
Yeah, that's nice. I love the look on the presidents. So this is yeah. Well, you know, we all grew up with Garfield at the end of the day. I've even got a strip now. So what do we got here? This is okay. Now we're moving into something a little different, right?
Yeah. So now we got a few. This is our non-art section, original art section of a few random items from the auction. This is from that Duke Caldwell signed comic book collection that I mentioned, and Kelly or Todd can speak more on the rarity of this. While it may be a modern book, it's insanely rare.
Tim Guerrero. Yeah. You could almost say it's golden, Tim Guerrero, after your Colossus comment. But yes, the most expensive modern comic book with an exclamation point.
That is correct. Yeah, it is. I mean, the incentive variant, 1 of 100 is incredibly rare, and to get a 9.8 out of 1 of 100, and then also have it signed, it's extremely unique in its own right in that sense. These have gone over $40,000 in a 9.8 in the past. So this is a rare opportunity to get a key modern book, a unique key modern book being signed,
freshly authenticated and graded by CBCS.
Yes.
And designated from the Duke Caldwell collection.
Yes. Yeah, very serious book.
So the 20 to 35 on the value estimate is probably right in line with what I would assume everybody was expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it's a key piece to his collection for sure. And this is this is just, I mean, as rare as things. We had a different, equally as rare or to this rarity of Mego Green Goblin brings $76,000 a few auctions ago, and
all-time world record for Mego at auction.
Yes, yeah, and non-Star Wars superhero or non-Star Wars action figure period, but Mego as well. And this is, when you speak of Green Goblin, usually you speak of Iron Man on the card, and this is the only one ever graded by AFA. It speaks for itself.
Yeah. Todd, you want to explain why the carded is rare?
Well, Iron Man, Green Goblin, those Marvel characters, they're tough to find, sort of period. But when you do, it's always the window box. These cards were kind of the next wave, and then that was kind of the end of them. So very few got made on these kind of cards. So that's the total rarity of it, is the cards from this era just don't exist.
First one we've ever offered. And Kelly, is this the only one AFA has graded?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
It's 1 of 1. Yeah. The only example as a 75. Yeah. I mean, card backs themselves, if they ever came up, they would sell for a serious amount, let alone sealed and then in a decent grade. Yeah.
Well, I had a few of these when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I didn't leave them in the packaging though. So let's see. What do we got? What's this next thing? Wolverine gum. This is something never
I
heard of
wanted
before.
everyone to see this because it's until a few years ago it was an unknown card unless you were really a non-sport collector, gum card collector. But this is a set that came out in 1936, and weird subject matter. There's some torture devices, and there's snake attack, but in it also is this card called the Batman. And if anyone knows the history, 1936 predates Detective Comics 27. So whether there's a connection or not, this is just a coincidence, but it's the Batman before DC's Batman. And the card set itself is very rare. This Wolverine company only produced 2 sets of Ripley's Believe It or Not and this, and that was it. So very little product ever made it onto the market. It didn't sell either. Neither set sold that well. This one even less so. And the Batman card now is just, it's as comic book collectors are gravitating to some non-sport graded cards, especially the Superman cards.
Yeah.
This is sort of now picked up steam as well because it is, of that time period and just a novelty to have the Batman from 1936.
Did they come to us graded, or do we get them
No,
graded?
we have 2 major non-sport pedigree collections. This one is John Grossman. The other one is Roxanne Tozer. No, we're in the process of getting them graded. Most from both of those collections were not graded. They're freshly graded.
Man, that's
And
crazy.
there's
condition
very few complete sets of this exist. We have some of the highest graded cards in the population, PSA population in this set. You don't see them individually. Rarely is a set. This is a set with the wrapper, and you can see we have 8 bids already on this thing. So it took off from day one.
It's almost 90 years.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, that'll be interesting to see where that ends up. Now we've got something from 1940.
Yeah. So again, as I just mentioned, this is one of the all-time classic non-sport issues. Superman 1. So there was the first series 1 to 48, and then 49 to 72 is the higher number series. Those cards are much rarer than the first series, and this is from the first series, but it's card number 1, and it's one of the most valuable cards in the set because as you compiled your cards as a kid back then, you put a rubber band around them. So the number 1 card would be the top card if you had it. So it's hard to find this in high grade. And X mint 6. While that's, you may not say, well, that's not an 8 or 9 or 10. A 6 for this is a extremely high grade. Again, this is a card that has taken off the last few years as comic book collectors and Superman collectors get heavier into this non-sport issue. So this was another one. It's at 9,000 right now, 9,350, and 7 bids. So a lot of the non-sport cards early on took off. This one being one of them.
Only 7 graded higher. That's crazy.
And so not only do we have this, but we have a full set 1 to 48 graded, and then we have a bunch of graded high numbers offered individually. So if you're looking to start or complete this card set, now's the time, and this is the auction.
That's the Andy Pafko argument. I never knew we had a non-sport version of that too. That's cool.
We got 1 item remaining. Now, this is, when was this made? 48, it says.
Yeah. So we may say we saved the best for last. In my opinion, it is one of the most special items in this auction. This is also from the Harry Matetsky collection, and this is the only one known. It is produced. I mean, it's manufactured. It's not a prototype, but it was never put into production, or there would be others out there. So for whatever reason, as popular as the Superman play suits and costumes were of this time period, and as popular as Captain Marvel was at this time, for whatever reason, this wasn't made. And this was one of the crown jewels of Harry's collection. It is featured in the Chip Kid Shazam book. It is featured in the Hake Pop Culture Guide. So this is a twice published, one of a kind, holy grail of Captain Marvel merchandise.
Yeah. we discussed Harry's Captain Marvel collection. I think we agreed he may have had the most impressive, largest, and just vast Captain Marvel collection ever assembled. That we know
without
of.
a doubt. Yeah. And at one point he had that's why he did his Superman book. At one point he had the best Superman collection, and then that went away. He sold that, and he turned his focus heavily on Captain Marvel. And there are a lot of incredible pieces in this auction, and more to come. But this really is just, to say you have the one and only of a Captain Marvel piece of merchandise is this is it.
Yeah.
Did you try it on, Alex?
Those photos may
comment.
pop up at some
No
point.
comment.
Well, remember, the cape does not possess superhuman powers. So
Exactly.
Speak for yourself, Todd. I mean, we'll see.
Coming soon to TikTok.
Yep.
Alex jumped off the roof wearing Captain Marvel.
Racing down the hallways with Ed
I'm
Hakes.
jumping off the roof, but for many other reasons than that.
Deadlines aren't that bad. All right. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's it's cool that you got that so many pieces from that gentleman, though. I mean, that's at the end of the day, clearly they had an eye for unique things, and that's and we see that a lot, right? I mean, there's collectors out there who really just kind of did a deep dive in a particular character or a title, and then the next thing you know, 40, 50 years later, they have like one hell of a collection of stuff that many people have never seen before. So
And he started as a kid. I mean, he saw this stuff, Superman merchandise in the 40s in store windows and wanted it and read comics, and he never stopped. As he got older, he got more into it.
Well, that's cool. So let's see. So you're gonna get a catalog to Tim Guerrero.
Yep.
And the historical side of the auction starts to end this time next week on Tuesday, with the original arts lots beginning to end next Wednesday.
Correct.
15th, 9 p.m.
And you're actively taking consignments for the next auction, which is early in 2024.
Yeah, we'll have in January, we're going to do one of our online exclusive auctions, no catalog. And that's usually the stuff that's under 500, a little more collector friendly. Everyone can jump in and bid. It'll be comic books. It'll be political. There'll be action figures. And then our next premier cataloged auction will take place in March.
Okay.
With a consignment deadline of, we would like to say early January. We'll take things into the month of January, but it's always good to get it to us early. Gives us time to really promote it, get it in print ads, take it to shows, really roll out the PR. The more we can have it, the longer we can promote it, the more we can draw attention to it.
Yep.
And best way to contact you guys for consignments?
Through email to mkelly@hakes.com. If that's hakes@hakes.com, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, as Alex just said, all of the messaging services you'll get to us, but directly is me, mkelly, hakes.com, or comicart@hakes.com. That also gets right to somebody else with a beard can get that one. So
Rutan.
And handle our art that way. Art, comics, toys, contact us.
Yes, Tim.
Yeah, and you could hand over art to us then, and it would actually get in the March auction, Kelly.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yep.
That's what we call last minute, and that's what we call Todd Sheffer right there.
Well, he'll be at the show. He can describe it while he's working the booth.
He can probably be laying out the catalog at the booth.
I'll stop the presses for the right piece.
Yes, absolutely. We are definitely taking consignments at OAX. That's a big reason why we're there.
Yep.
Plenty of carry-on space. So,
well, I would assume with 450, 500 art collectors in the room that there's going to be a lot of art that is up for negotiation one way or another. I think that's going to be the neatest. Well, there's many neat facets to the show, obviously, but just having that many collectors in the room, each of them carrying at least one portfolio with them, more than likely, there's going to be a lot of art to look at and a lot of artwork that's going to be available to different degrees, I think. So, yeah. And just think, the guy who overspends, he's gonna have to sell or consign something while he's there.
Yeah.
It's gonna hit one or two collectors, you know that.
Yep.
Tim's asking about estimates on art. I'm sure you give
Yeah.
ranges.
Yep, for sure.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's see here. So we will see you we're going to see you in another 2 weeks. I'm going to shoot some dates for you because I'm sure we're going to do a recap for the auction once it's closed. And then after that, we'll be planning for OAX. If there's any announcements or things leading up to OAX that you want to mention, I can give you some space on the show or push out some PR for you too. Clearly we could send out some, news posts or a mailing talking about bringing things to OAX for you guys if you want.
Okay, awesome. And vice versa. We can do stuff on our socials. We can send out an email to our clientele for you. So yeah, two-way
That'd be
street.
cool because we haven't done any of that stuff yet. I remember I was mentioning to you guys earlier. We've done all the PR to get to where we are today has just been through CAF, and we're waiting for Comic Art Live to be over. This upcoming weekend. Once that's behind us, I'll have more time to focus on putting together some PR materials. And if you could help spread the word, that'd be fantastic.
I bug you enough with emails saying, "Hey, can you do this?" So payback.
Yes, exactly. Well, then I will definitely utilize you guys as a resource.
Yeah.
You got that right. And Josh says that they will behave at OAX.
Not behave.
Not. Yeah,
They're not. Oh, we promised not to be.
bunch of
Okay.
details.
Absolutely. Yeah.
See, I should have known that. Josh, see, he's the stand-up routine is already beginning. Maybe I'll have Josh be there. He'll be like the greeter at the door when everybody's walking through trying to get into the hall.
Hired. Yeah.
All right, guys. Fun as always, and thank you to everybody in the chat hanging out with us and keeping us on our toes. We appreciate
thanks
that.
for tuning in, everybody.
Very much so. Thank you,
everyone.
Right on.
All right, we'll see you in a few weeks. Have a good night, everybody.